Awesome being at Torrey Pines. Well, it's game time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach and Win by Noon Friday Mastermind. I'm here with Todd Bookspan to co-host this mastermind session. What's up, Todd? It was good seeing you in San Diego, Torrey Pines last week, or like yesterday, I guess.
I'm so excited to be back at home with my family, but it was really, really nice to get to spend some FaceTime with you after we saw each other a lot pre-COVID. So it was fun to get back together and have some meals together and finally meet your wife, and obviously had a kick-ass event.
God, it was a mind-blowing event, guys. And we're going to open with a debrief on that. I do want to introduce the whole stage here. We got Dan Keller for the 184th time as a leader in the mortgage coach community. What's up, Dan?
Hey, good morning, you guys. Good to be back.
Well, dude, thanks for the content you created for the presentation you did for the Modern Real Estate Summit. It was really well received. And, we sold over 11,200 tickets. We had, I don't know, not bragging, but I don't know if there's ever been more realtors and loan officers viewing a content on a stage than that. Like, it was just a great collaboration of local housing professionals. So Dan, thanks for your part in that, brother.
Oh, my pleasure.
And we've got Scott Fouser, an executive for House Happy, something we believe is really important when it comes to going beyond the transaction. Scott, thanks for joining us, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Right on. So guys, what we'd like to do to kick off this call is we want to do 15 minutes of just debriefing on the event. So make sure some things that we think are important for you to connect the dots on, you hear. Before I do that, I'm going to do a little behind the scenes view of the event, just so you guys can see it. And then we'll cover some of the closing thoughts, and we'll cover some of the highlights. And then that'll tee up going right into tactics and strategies and best practices to going beyond the transaction, so that this decade, 2020 and beyond, is better than the last one. So let's check out a little behind the scenes action. Boom. Todd, was that fun or what, dude?
It was a blast. And what I like about that video is you don't really, a lot of us have seen the American Dream studio kind of, actually on live or, recordings of it, but it's fun to see actually how that studio is, where you've got both stages in that same room. And, they showed a little thing of Carlos back there in the back room, making all the magic happen. But it was, it was a great day. It was really, the funny part is I can see every time they're filming, I'm either on my phone responding to texts about the event or, typing up stuff, responding online. And it was just a great interactive day with the community.
Well, there are some really important takeaways. And I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. And the event was great. And there was a lot of loan officers that had movie theaters. There was a lot of loan officers that had realtors coming through their office. And there were hundreds of realtors that gave out thousands of tickets to real estate agents. And there were over 1,000 realtors that bought tickets, $99, went in and bought tickets, or somehow their company bought it. It was just a collaboration of local mortgage and real estate professionals. Like, how are we going to kill it in this market? Of course, the stage was real estate agents. And I want to start with a keynote. Dan and Scott, I'm going to bring you in a few different spots. So if you don't see my screen, tell me you don't see my screen. I'm believing that you do. I want to remind everybody what time it is in the world right now. And there's been this digital transformation that we call the digital shift era. There was a time when a homeowner couldn't find a home without an agent. That time is gone. And so we're in this digital shift. And just a reminder, that digital shift started in 2007 when the iPhone hit. And this is where we're at today. And you have a lot of logins to do your job. Let's face it, you got to log into Mortgage Coach, House Happy, HomeBot, CRM, LOS, pricing engine. So does the consumer. The consumer has a lot of logins and a lot of unconnected platforms. Because there will be a time where everybody will have less logins. I'm actually looking, and I'm going to talk about it next Tuesday, at this AI-driven tech platform that's one of the big funders is Elon Musk. And it's going to blow your mind at how much faster it helps you write headlines and content and persuasive content. And there's going to be a time, and I do believe by 2027, when you will call into a mortgage company, a real estate company, and you will not be able to distinguish whether you're talking to a human being or a machine. The tone of voice, the clarity, the intelligence in which they'll be able to just conversate with you, you won't be able to tell the difference. So it's never been more important that if you want to make this decade better than the last one, you got to use platforms and tools. And this is a slide that I shared to thousands of real estate agents on Wednesday, saying, hey, you guys all remember this, right? Like this wasn't like a decade ago. This was like a few years ago where this is what it looked like. And then along came Zillow and started the disruption, and you this is what it looks like today. If you're a real estate agent, this is your battlefield. And you see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's who's next. I mean, there's no question that HomeBot or Lowe's is going to buy a real estate platform. I mean, I've already heard from a number of people that those deals have almost happened. They just haven't been able to come to terms. So, there's no question. Like Facebook already has a team where they're going to be in the aggregated lead play. That's not a question. I mean, it's happening. I know people that are on that team. So last year, or I guess it was 2020 Super Bowl, Rocket did 3 Super Bowl ads, and there were like 6. So companies are going public. Guys, any comments on this? Todd, I'll let you go first. Anything you want to say about this?
Well, I just think it's just always a great reminder that we know where the future is going. And, it's that whole idea of, looking, what did Wayne Gretzky always say? Dan probably knows the quote, look where the puck is going, not where it is, or whatever that quote is. And, it was funny because I got a lot of comments on this. People like, no way, there's no way Home Depot is going to get in the real estate business. Everyone believes that Facebook will, but I think, given that insight is huge.
Dan, anything you want to comment here?
Yeah, I think you and I were talking about it the other night, Dave, where there's an owner or former owner of a big real estate company, nationwide real estate company, and he shared publicly over a year ago how we are going to be compressed even more. And he already sees the writing on the wall with real estate. There's a lot of money on each transaction. There's a lot of money on each mortgage transaction. And I think it's just the evolution of, I guess, commerce. But I think a lot of these big companies, the Amazons, the Google, the Home Depot, they're seeing that. I think they're starting to realize how they can compress and cut and then pull out some efficiencies. So beware. I mean, and this is what I really commend you and Todd for doing, is you're bringing it to our attention 7 to 10 years in advance. And just like what Todd just said, you guys skate to where the puck's going, not where it's at. And so I would pay attention. You guys, Dave, you run a tech company. I would listen. When Dave Savage talks about tech, I'd listen because you're in those trenches. So I'm right there with you guys.
Scott, anything you want to add to this?
100%. I mean, we have the conversations daily with people who are in the periphery of touching various elements of the home. And I mean, we got reached out by today, as a matter of fact, by one of the leaders in the insurance space about owning the relationship with the home. So it's one of those industries that has been very commoditized, it's very price based. And so they just have to have something that's stickier, and they see the connectivity between the home, the inspection, the insurance, the contractors, all that stuff. It's all interconnected, and technology just makes it work that much easier. And we ultimately hope to be that sort of dashboard for your house. And that's why they're reaching out to us now.
Well, we're going to get into that in great detail, but let's go to the mortgage space, guys. It was not long ago where this is what the battlefield looked like in mortgage. I mean, we're not talking 5 years ago. We're talking 2.5 years ago. And while 2020 was the great accelerator, the chess pieces were in place. Like this is what it looked like at the beginning of 2020. The only difference is a number of these companies that weren't public, mortgage companies have gone public, Rocket has gone public, Zillow has gone from an estimate to it's a click to buy a home in 20 markets. Brokers have scaled. It's not a question of if Zillow, or excuse me, Amazon is going to get in the mortgage business. It's how and when do they get in the mortgage business. So kind of getting down to kicking off this call and putting it all in context for anyone on this. I've said this from stage. If you haven't written this down, if you don't think about this acronym all the time, I recommend that you do. And in specialty retail, they've been obsessing over WACD, and especially specialty retailers that have executed, they're gaining market share. Their stock's going up. Even despite COVID, Nordstrom's is still a healthy, specialty retailer. Because this acronym is what Amazon can't do. You need to do what Amazon can't do, and we're going to talk about specific tactics so you can do that. And then you know what? You need to do what Amazon can do. Now, the only thing that I think is different, because we're all in housing, is we need to put a Z. So really the acronym that we need to obsess over is what Amazon and Zillow can't do and can do. And again, that's one of the reasons why Todd and I did the Modern Mortgage Summit, which we're going to do this October. And we're also going to do another Modern Real Estate Summit this November, because the industry needs to do this. You need to do what they can't do, what they can do, and you need to do it quick. And I don't know if this is enough advice for you, but I wrote this down verbatim in 2017. Mr. Disruptor said the agent of the future is a coach and advisor to home buyers and wholesalers. So I would just push everybody watching this. If you are not an advisor, you have to be an advisor. You have to go beyond delivering a fee worksheet at the point of sale. So the way you bring a client into the mix needs to be a mobile experience. If you're not a mortgage coach, you are not a modern mortgage professional at the highest level. Sorry. I mean, you may be good, but you're not the best. The best digital modern experience is a family getting options. It's a family getting graphs and charts. It's a family getting mortgage strategies at the point of sale. I'm flipping through this. I don't expect you to, if you've seen me talk about it, you know what I'm showing you, but you need to deliver advice at the point of sale in a very unique and powerful way. And so we talk about this a lot at Mortgage Coach. I mean, this is the Mortgage Coach mission, where more than 50% of families give a total cost analysis at the point of sale. Last year, we were at 1.7 million created, 5.5 million views. Our goal is to double that this year. But today's call is about this, guys. We think it's not just Mortgage Coach. Yeah, it's Mortgage Coach at point of sale. It's Mortgage Coach doing annual reviews and quarterly reviews. But we think HomeBot's super important, and we've integrated with them, and we've talked about them a lot. And we think House Happy is super important and smart, that you go beyond the transaction and you're delivering constant value at the point of sale. Now, one more thing before we open up into mastermind format, I do want to remind everybody, we now have a playlist in our YouTube channel. So at the very top, so if you just go to Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, you can't miss it. And it's called the Agent Advantage playlist. So far, as of today, we've got 9 videos in there, and they were all videos that came from Mortgage Coach Rockstars, that the audience was an agent, and they shared a mortgage tactic and strategy to agents. Like, hey, agent, let me show you how I can help your buyers write a winning offer and overcome an appraisal gap, because that's a big challenge in the market. Hey, realtors, let me show you how I can help a family make the winning offer by showing them, hey, buy now or wait later. Let me show you how I can create urgency with a first-time home buyer by getting them so pumped up and clear about the numbers that they'll write the offer they need to. So we want this playlist to expand beyond 9 videos. So we're throwing a challenge out there to the Mortgage Coach community. Guys, I would love videos coming in weekly, where you are creating videos and content for real estate agents The rules are you can't say your company name because you need to be an ambassador for Mortgage Coach. That you can take that same video, put a different front on it, put a different clothes, and use it in your own media. But the ones you submit to us, you can't be like, hey, I'm the best loan officer in the country. You have to be, hey, Dave Savage, Mortgage Coach, let me show you blank. We also recommend, a lot of the realtors said it would be really cool to see you guys when you upgrade them, keep them under 3 minutes. And they were also saying, it would be really cool to see a mortgage coach and a realtor. So that when you're making it, it's like you as a mortgage coach with one of your real estate agents, and your real estate agent says, he talks realtor and how you solved the problem. And let me show you how Dan crushed it. And you kept it out. I mean, it may be hard to do it under 3 minutes, but the most important thing that we think will help with this mission is getting loan officers and realtors collaborating to show how they're more than realtors and loan officers. They're going beyond the transaction, helping families build wealth with real estate. So check it out. Make sure you watch the videos in that playlist. I think you could share them. I think you should try to create your own. So you're sharing. But I mean, we made it so that, Amber's in a different market. You might not want to share Amber's video if you're in her market, but if you're in, a totally different market, that Amber video would be great. Dan Keller, you probably don't want to share Dan Keller's video if you're in Seattle, but if you're in some other market, who cares? Like, here's what I do for you. But we hope to see more videos. And guys, more importantly than that, Win by Noon. We also launched the Win by Noon store. Want to make sure everybody is aware of that. So Win by Noon has gone beyond, and I don't want to say just a planner, but hey, it's well known by thousands of realtors and mortgage professionals as a day-to-day planner that you can use to win by noon. But guys, Win by Noon is a lifestyle. Hats, shirts, stickers, and there's going to be a lot of different content coming from this. So if you are already in the Win by Noon team, you can sign up, you can buy more. Now you can buy shirts, coffee mugs, water bottles. Also, Todd and the team were kind enough to create a mortgage coach sticker. So I get requests all the time, Dave, how do I get stickers? And back when it was live events, it was like, oh, come to the next live event, we'll pass them out. Well, guys, now you can buy stickers at Todd's store. Todd, anything you want to say about your store or some of the things I said before we break into the mastermind at hand?
Well, I think the coolest part is you can actually get the stickers, mortgage coach stickers, in 3 different sizes. So depending on, whether where you're going to put it onto which device, you can actually get any size. We've had great feedback on it. I mean, I do agree, right? It started out as a planner, and I think that, with lots of encouragement from the community, we've really trying to create this whole movement that it's all really about doing your best by noon. And so just like the old days when you wore shirts like No Fear, now people wear shirts like Win by Noon. We're pretty excited about that.
Hey,
That's for
Todd,
sure.
what is the win? You've said it before, like the Win by Noon mission, or call it your why with Win by Noon. What is that?
For me, it's helping people reach their potential, whatever they view that to be, right? Because not everyone wants to be a $100 million producer. I feel like some people just want to be a $20 million producer. And I feel like if you can actually focus on your most important priorities first before you get carried on with the rest of your day, that you will reach that, you will reach that potential. And, there's just nothing worse than, running into old friends. Like I ran into a guy, I mean, I hate to say it, he was a big guy in the mortgage business when I got in the business 20 years ago. And the last time I saw him, he was delivering my Instacart from Costco. And, that's someone who missed out on their potential. And, I don't want that to happen to our community. I feel like our community is the best of the best, and I want you guys to crush it. And I think it's just those little reminders. I mean, that's, you're one of the people who've taught me that, having a little reminder, a sticker here, something nearby you to remind you, hey, what are my priorities now? Let me make sure I win by noon. And I think that people are going to just get there just that much faster.
Well, and I think when it comes to adopting a new piece of technology like Mortgage Coach, if you're a Win by Nooner, you are making time to do the important things, not just staying in the fire. You're more likely to use Mortgage Coach. So Win by Noon is even more important. If I talk to loan officers, whether they do 3 loans a month or 30 loans a month, that don't use Mortgage Coach, and they're like, I don't have enough time. So 3 loans a month and you don't have enough time. Every loan officer, again, Win by Noon. If there's a better way of doing it, Win by Noon is what drives everything. And I love that mission reach your potential, whatever that is. And while noon is Todd's goal, and that's the brand, me personally, I want to win by 11. I wake up between 4 and 5 and I want to win by 11, but I still have a win by noon sticker here. I got a win by noon sticker on my mouse pad. Just while I start early enough to win by noon, sometimes I don't document what winning by noon is enough for myself. I don't write it down. Like I write down what I want to get done by the day, but sometimes I forget, what do I need to win by noon by? Well, get a win by noon sticker. You'll win more days by noon. Dan, anything you want to say about the opening and the debrief before we just focus on House Happy and spend the rest of this call like convincing everybody and showing everybody how to make the most of it?
Yeah, real quick to piggyback on Todd and what you guys are talking about, winning by noon and reaching your potential. Today, I launched something I'm super, super happy to do with my clients. So I do a weekly Making Sense of Your Markets video where I just talk about the market, what it's done, mainly for a lot of our pre-approved clients and past clients. Hey, rates are up from last week. Here's a little snapshot of Rate Watch, et cetera. And I talk about maybe some news in the market. That's just been, I've been doing that since 2016. It's kind of getting redundant. So this week I'm adding a 52-week series by Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I'm just so excited because I think so many people right now are lacking mental nutrition. It's just, it's horrible. Just log into social media and you're instantly poisoned. And so I'm going to try to bring, just in the spirit of what Todd's doing by Win by Noon, I reach, let's say, 3,000 people a week with my past clients, and even more so with social media, adding 1 minute of something that Stephen Covey helped me with in 2006 to reach my potential. There is, and I believe this, just like what Todd just said, I was one fraction away from being that delivery driver delivering your Instacart, Todd. But because of books like that, because of guys like you, because of communities like this, I'm living a life that I've dreamt of. And I think it's just so important to expose people to some of these teachings, the 7 habits, and some of the things that you guys talk about weekly. So I'm so excited just to piggyback on what Todd's doing with Win by Noon and what you guys are doing. You guys have inspired me to add that to my weekly communications with my current and past clients, which then kind of brings me transitioning into why we're here today with Scott, with House Happy. Last year, I had the opportunity to help 2 times as many families as we've ever helped in a year. And one of the common reoccurrences as I'm doing these mortgage planning calls with people and helping them with their refinances was really the lack of education around the roles and responsibilities of homeownership, how to take care of that house. And if 2020 and 2021 haven't opened up your eyes that you're sitting on a potential gold mine in your home, watching home values up here in Seattle literally go up by 30 or 40%, you got to take care of that property because it's not always going to be like that. And that's what I love so much about House Happy is it's a guide, especially I'm still first-time home buyer heavy up here. It's a guide when you're buying $1 million home or a $700,000 home, how to take care of that thing, because in 10 years, you're going to want to sell. In 5 years, you're going to want to sell. And the better you take care of that house, just like the better you take care of that car, the better the trade-in value will be. And Scott's product with House Happy, I'm a huge fan. We switched companies a couple of years ago, and in the transition, the previous company I had House Happy, and in the transition just kind of got lost in the shuffle. And I saw the importance and how valuable House Happy was. I'm just so excited to be back on board with House Happy, which prompted my text to you the other day. Say, hey, we got to get this guy on, and we need to talk about some of my ahas from helping a lot of people last year, and then what House Happy can do to help loan officers and real estate agents add more value to their clients.
So a couple of footnotes before we bring you on stage, Scott. One, I want to remind everybody this is a mastermind. So ask questions, whether you're in Zoom or Facebook, and Todd and I will moderate those. I just saw Julie said, hey, what is House Happy? We'll make sure you know what that is. BJ Reeves said, this is such great information. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, dude. And here's another, what's House Happy? Tamara wants to know what House Happy is. So stay tuned. We'll get right at you. So let's bring Scott on. I'm going to say what it is to me. And Scott, anything you want to share, and you have as much time as you want to make sure people know why House Happy, what is House Happy, and then we'll just kind of fill in the blanks. But to me, House Happy is a gift that you can bring to a family to help them optimize and organize everything that's important around that house. And it goes beyond what a realtor does. Hey, what's your value? It goes beyond what a loan officer typically does. Hey, I do annual reviews. I do checkups. It's like the things that matter, like clean out your rain gutters. And it's a blend of technology to organize, optimize, and leverage. And then things that you're already doing, like things that you should be doing. And again, just a constant reminder. So Todd, anything you want to say before we bring Scott on stage?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say that my team actually uses House Happy, and it's just been a big success for us as well. So I just want to give some props. I do want to just throw one last thing in on the Modern Real Estate Summit, because I've been getting lots of emails and texts the last 24 hours from people who bought, either the team pass or the influencer pass, who have a handful of passes left. We'll be sending out an email by Monday with kind of some great strategies to use. And those codes are still good. And I think it's even a better opportunity now to follow up with your agents. Now that you've watched the content, you can call an agent who's a prospect or an agent who you're working with. Now you can actually point them to the content. The live run of show is in there, so someone can watch the full 8 hours if they want. And then it's actually got individual tiles where you can just click on each different speaker and just hear that presentation. So it's a perfect opportunity for you to say, gosh, you know what? I really love Nneka Jenkins and what she did and how she grew to a $200 million producer in 3.5 years. I'd recommend you watch that one. So it just gives you the ability to still go in there, hand out passes. And then also, Dave said it earlier, the fortunes and the follow-up, all the agents that you had to watch it already, some of them probably didn't watch it all day. They didn't have the full day to do it. So check in with them, see what they liked, see who their favorites were, and then find out what they didn't watch, and then say, oh gosh, you know what, you got to go in and watch when, Tristan Ahumada, the founder of Lab Coat Agents, the biggest Facebook group for realtors, you got to go back and watch his video on social media. Those kinds of things will help you take what you've already invested in and turn it into gold.
And I just want to echo two things on that, because I've had a number of texts from influencers saying, hey, can I still give out the passes that I haven't given out? Absolutely. They're more valuable today because now it's follow-up. And I want to echo what Todd said, like that content will be available in our group. One, you can watch the whole thing as a movie. It is a long movie. It was the ultimate fire hose for mortgage and real estate professionals, but you can watch one 3-minute video, one 5-minute video, one 11-minute video, and then you can make your own 3-minute video with a mortgage coach strategy. So you're given a little value, and you can do it on Zoom. You can do it in a movie theater. You know how I just played that video and the sound, it looked like it was playing on your computer? You can do that. You just open up your website, and when you go to share on Zoom, there's 2 buttons in the bottom left-hand corner. You pick share sound, you click optimize video for clip, and then instead of picking your desktop, pick the actual screen that it's in. So if you have it in Chrome, I use Chrome, pick where that video is at in Chrome and hit play. And so we'll be talking about that follow-up to come. But guys, you got some value giving it out. You got some value watching it. 10x value could come if you're winning by noon and you're using that. So Scott Fouser, let's just knock it out for some folks. What is House Happy from one of the top executives and leaders at the company?
So House Happy is, it's really this combination of a high touch and a high tech platform that leverages very property specific data with a concierge service to simplify all homeownership, maintenance, repairs, and improvements. So Dan hit it right on the head. Today, our grandparents knew a lot about taking care of their properties. Our parents knew more than us. We know some. Our kids are oblivious. They really are. I heard people say, I have a filter. They just don't even know. And so the idea that we've created this platform that it might even have some benefit for the genesis story for how I started the predecessor company for House Happy called Gruntworks. And the idea is that as I stood in my own living room and I was looking at the stuff that needed to be done around my house, I was like, who helped me? And it reminded me that I needed a plumber about something. I was like, who helped me? And this will give you how long ago this was, I had to go look at my phone book because I'd circled the name, but then I realized that the phone book had been replaced and now I couldn't remember who it was, right? So I didn't have any records. I didn't have any storage. I didn't have any data around who did what, when it should be done again. And I didn't have anybody to help me. On the flip side of it, you had the contractors who were these terrible business people, mostly like really good at what they do, but they were terrible at their connectivity and staying relevant and staying meaningful. I mean, what is an electrician going to do to engage you on a regular basis? Nothing. And so we wanted to help the good guys do better while helping homeowners have a much better experience in managing and maintaining their home and reduce the anxiety that went with it. Because we all know, I mean, we call that contractor and you go, gosh, I hope it's the right person. I hope somebody shows up who I can trust, who's going to treat me fairly, who's not going to rip me off, because it's pretty consistent that they feel like they're going to be, but they don't know by whom or for how much. And so we put ourselves in the middle of all of that to be the receiver of the information, the connectivity with the pro, the storer of the data. And now we've been able to take all that information and send Dave a message saying, Dave, it's time to change the filter in your HVAC unit. And here's the one you need because we already learned that. And you can press this button, it'll ship to your house. Or you can have another option, which is to have somebody come out and change it for you and tune up your HVAC unit. And it's pre-priced based on what the data was that we intook on the last time we did it. And so it's a real push button solution to keep homeownership easy. And the overlying issue, and this is why it's relevant in the mortgage space, is everything is branded for the real estate agent, for the lender, or whoever it was who created that account for the homeowner. And so all the weekly communications about here's what you should be doing. It's got their photo, it's got their name, it's got a live link to come back to them. They get notifications when they ask questions or they get services done. So it's a very cool, not in your face way of staying relevant and meaningful. And I will tell you, and I'm probably just running on here, but I'll tell you the reason that we've seen this massive spike in interest in what we do. And like I mentioned before, from insurance companies, from banks, from mortgage companies, from financial planners, the idea that the loan is important to the extent that it gives them access to their home. What they care about is their home. And by being the person who cares about them in all ways, but is specific about this issue, cares about them and making their homeownership life easier, that's the relevance, that's the stickiness that we bring. And it's like, that's a very long answer to what House Happy is, because it's very comprehensive. But I'll stop there and see if there's, any thoughts or questions beyond that.
Well, let's do this. So first of all, I just posted a little quote in here that I think would be super compelling with a first-time home buyer, that when you're like, why me? And first of all, how you show up, the questions you ask.
Yeah.
It starts with just, don't be a loan officer that only asks loan officer questions. Make sure you're asking questions about, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your real estate goals? How old do you want to be when this home is paid off? So it starts with that, like showing up with different questions. And then it's how do you deliver advice and value, mortgage coach. But then it's, do you make home ownership easy? And you said it, House Happy makes home ownership easier. And if it's someone who's renting, guys, that's one of their concerns. Like, hey, I'm renting, everything's taken care of, and I'm going into owning a home where I got to take care of everything. Be the loan officer that creates a little value and differentiation there. So Dan, would you mind just sharing, how do you frame it with a family? Like, what do you say when you tell them that, hey, I've got this House Happy thing? And then Scott, we're going to come back to you. You can share your screen. I want people to really see it, like you gave us a narrative, but don't share it yet. But after Dan frames it, and then Todd, I'm going to bring it to you. You can also give your scripting for how your team does it. And then we'll do a little demo. And remember, guys, if you have questions, put your questions in here. We'll get to them. Dan, ring.
So when I sit down with a new client, a first-time home buyer, and I go through the pre-approval and the mortgage planning process, I send them to a page that I created for them specifically called budgetwithdan.com. So I teach my clients how to budget, not only for home ownership, but for that 2030, 2040 version of their financial lives. So just like you said at the beginning of the call, Dave, you guys are looking at what the mortgage industry and real estate industries are going to look like in 2027. I care about how my client's financial situation is going to look in 2030, 2040. And so when I start talking about that, and we're talking about how important it is to budget and how important it is to make sure that they're contributing to their 401k, especially if there's an employer match and all of those good things around increasing your net worth, we use Mortgage Coach and we plug in the home that they're buying, and I show them what that looks like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And this is where House Happy comes right in, because here's the thing: if you take better care of your home, you're going to sell it for more down the road. And if you understand the roles and responsibilities of home ownership better, it makes home ownership easier, just exactly what you just said. And so here's my close. Here's my tie down. If Renee Rodriguez was here, here's my tie down that I use with my clients. Most real estate agents and most lenders are going to say that I'm your realtor for life. I'm your loan officer for life. And I call BS on 90% of them, because if they were, they'd be using House Happy. If they were, they'd actually care about, one, getting you out of debt sooner. My job, I'm putting you into a big debt. It's my job to get you out of that debt as soon as possible. Whether that's a 15-year mortgage, whether that's investing additional money in the stock market. So 15 years from now, you have enough money in a an investment account to pay off your mortgage. I don't care how that looks, but my job is to get you out of debt sooner. The other part of it relative to real estate, most real estate agents that I work with, we're partners in this deal. We are your mortgage lending real estate team for life. House Happy plays right into that. And because we say we are, we put our actions, we show our actions by using House Happy. Here you go, every single month. And then I go into what Scott just said. Hey, you're going to get push notifications. We're going to send them, House Happy is going to come out and do a 300-point inspection on the house. And so that when you sell that house down the road, the person buying your house gets all of this data, all of this information that they have put into this website for you as well. And I think it's just a value add there. It helps you manage. And then when it's time to hand off the reins to another home buyer, hey, look what we've created for you. Here are the paint colors. Here's the appliance make and models. Here's the service records for everything. The market's going to turn one day back to a buyer's market. And when it does, this is going to be a big value add when you have people looking at buying your house.
Dan Keller, that scripting was amazing, brother. Anybody in the Mortgage Coach team, let's make some micro content out of that. I mean, I'm going to do a LinkedIn post off what you just said, because I thought that the whole part of I'm getting you into debt, I got to get you out of debt. And again, Mortgage Coach is powering your visualization of that. And then I'm going to help you manage this loan or this home for life. I'm going to make that easier. House Happy and HomeBot. You know, both of those products, both of those platforms, it makes it easy. It makes it better. So Todd, before we have Scott do the full demo and also be prepared to share what the price is, Julie wants to know what's the cost per client. How long does the product go before the client needs to review the contract, renew the contract? So Julie, we'll get your answer in a minute. But Scott, be ready to give us a little demo, and then we'll talk price. And then guys, if you have more questions, put them in. Todd, how do you and your team do it, or anything you want to add to what Dan said?
You know, I'm guessing that my team doesn't nearly do it as well as Dan did. So they're going to be watching the micro content that you create in the recording of this. But the big thing for them is it's part of that initial, the initial thank you call, right? It's a gift that goes out from the team after closing. And so they're using that in the follow-up thank you call. And hey, by the way, remember I mentioned we've got a concierge service for you called House Happy. And we just want to make sure that you take advantage of that going forward. They're going to be calling you to, you know, set up an initial, initial consultation. And it's just the easy button for you going forward to take care and maintain your home. So that's how we use it strategically, is at that follow-up call where they're thanking them, offering tell them that you just got an email with the gift, and then using it to set up their, the kind of the rest of the client for life, the annual mortgage review, that you're going to get HomeBot. And so really just part of the package that our team is using to do what Dan said most people don't do, is create clients for life.
So guys, write that down, because that is a common theme among many of America's best mortgage professionals that are mortgage coaches. Kelly Zitlow has it scheduled so that one, in her CRM, she puts what's the client's next real estate goal. Is it paying off their PMI? Is it moving up in 7 years? Is it paying off their things? That goes in her CRM. And when they do their follow-up call, there's a TCA that's showing them how to achieve that next real estate goal. Buy an investment property, buy a second home. So they use the mortgage coach at the point of sale. They're using the mortgage coach a month, a couple of days, a couple of weeks later. There are companies that actually automatically create a mortgage coach TCA, and it automatically goes out within 30 days of the close, so that they're driving that next goal and they're training them on it. And then you're hitting them with House Happy. You're hitting them with HomeBot. You're hitting them with whatever. You're training that client. You're not just saying I'm a lender for life and this agent and myself are agent for life. You're training the client. By the way, we didn't talk about it. And Dan, before we wrap this up, how do you use this as a value prop with realtors? Like every loan officer out there keeps promises, has competitive rates. Yep. Not all of them, but that's the value prop. But when you're able to say, hey, refer to me, I'm your conversion partner. I'm going to help you convert more of your buyers. And then you fill in the blanks. And I'm going to help you get more referrals from them and ensure that you retain them. And then you show them and you tell them what they do. So Dan, be ready to come back at you with that. Scott, demo time. Can you give us a 5-minute demo?
Yeah.
Let's go. Ring, ring. Or not ring, ring. Clock started. 5 minutes. Demo this thing out.
All right. Let's see what I can do. Let me know when you can see my screen.
We got it.
Cool. All right. So quick, I'm just run through like the core value proposition. The concierge service is like the center of everything, where you have somebody to simplify home ownership by, if you need a painter, plumber, electrician, landscaper, housekeeper, roofer, remodeler, whatever, you have one point of contact to get that service fulfilled for you. If there's ever any issues, we go to the bat for the homeowner to make sure there's resolution. We've been doing this now for 9 years, and we've only had 2 instances where we had to go after somebody's insurance on behalf of the homeowner to get resolution. And we do that through being massively valuable to them as a service provider, and also by vetting them well to begin with. We can also use the pros that you like to use. So that's a nice benefit, where if you've got referral partners who are contractors that send you business, we can add them to the ecosystem so they can serve your clients as well. And you're helping them out too. You have the service reminders that I mentioned that would before, where there's the branded communications every week, where they come out, they say what should be ordered, what's relevant for your home, a helpful reminder, a DIY tip, whatever. And those are all branded with your information on them. Fantastic open rates, upper 30% on average, which is pretty dang good in the email marketing space. We have the House Happy account, where it stores all your data. So everything from paint colors and warranty information to your appliance model numbers when they're installed, all the DNA of the house that helps you build that sort of Carfax for your house, that stores, like when somebody completes a job, it stores the receipt and who did it. And so for tax reasons, it can be beneficial. For rental property, it can be beneficial. Really robust. The concierge visit, Dan mentioned, in many markets in the country, we can physically go into the customer's home and collect about 300 different points of data. In the markets that we don't have that, we do a virtual visit so that we can also address those folks who might be in the middle of Nebraska or something. And the more robust the data gets, the more engaged we can get with the homeowner in a very specific way. Like, you're not going to get an email service reminder about cleaning your chimney if you don't have a fireplace, right? So that kind of data, so it's relevant and meaningful to them each time. We have reward points that they earn every time they order a service. They can redeem those for additional services, or if they answer questions or fill more data points out in their house. A lot of things that people really use to engage. And then we have annual maintenance plans and some other stuff that our customers really dig. When somebody logs into their account, they're going to see their dashboard. It's going to be branded with the company, branded with the loan officer. The home is going to be shown there, and then all the navigation, all the functionality is going to run down your left-hand side. Everything from where your service requests stand. When you submit a service request, it's going to show you inside your dashboard the status of that. If it's pending bids, who all those bids are from, what they are, then you can select which one you want, and then that'll initiate the communication flow with the pro itself. So Very cool. You can manage it, been completed, checked off, stored all the data, all that lives inside your account. You can create to-do lists, you get your maintenance schedule, your job history, all your DNA, all the information about your house that keeps you up to speed on the data around your home. This is an example of the service reminders that would be out there, that they would come in. They're, here's what you should be doing. Here's why. Here's the people who put you into your house and they care about your house. And this comes both through email and through push notifications through our app. I just totally blew through that really fast, but that is a quick overview of what they are. I can actually go through a full demo account with you, but I don't think we have time for that. But you can see there's a lot of very cool, relevant, meaningful information in here. And you can see all like how robust it is with, here's all the information about, each room, each appliance that's in each room. And the reason we do that is, again, to be granular and specific. And so that when, for example, somebody needs, the refrigerator's on the fritz, we can dispatch the pro with enough data so that user experience is better, right? So that when we've always had this experience when you have something that's broken and they show up and they don't have the right stuff and they have to come back and you took time out of your schedule. It's not a good experience. So we want to have more data, a better experience, and just, make it just better overall user experience for that homeowner. And then be valuable through that whole ownership cycle. So one of the things that we haven't really talked about is the relationship with the transaction. So, you start that relationship and there's a lot of folks who need things done in the place that they're selling or they're moving out of. We can help facilitate that, which is a great way to engage them early on to help them keep from shopping to go somewhere else, because you're adding value. You're providing value through, even before the transaction happens. You got the loan covered. We got that process covered to get in the new place, even to the point where, they're like, they want to move it. They close on the 1st, they're going to move in on the 8th. And in that 8-day period, we can get their carpets cleaned and their windows washed and their air ducts cleaned and their TVs hung and all the stuff that they can just move in if they want to. Anyway, that's the purpose of the concierge, again, to simplify that whole process and to really own the relationship through the whole ownership cycle. And I think with that, I will stop.
That was awesome. If you could stop sharing your screen, please. So by the way, guys, this call happened because Dan Keller reached out to me and said, Dave, someone I respect, someone that's a mortgage coach, grandmaster, just click the stop sharing button. And he said, this is important. This is a really cool platform. Mortgage coaches need to know about it. Guys, we want a mortgage coach, mortgage professional to crush a non-mortgage coach. You want to be, it's mortgage coach against T-worksheet loan officers. And if you're in this community, we make this Facebook group free to any loan officers. We're trying to recruit you into our mission. When families get into debt, they deserve transparency and clarity so they can make the most informed choice. And by the way, it helps you convert more buyers, get more referrals, be more valuable. But if you're watching this and you got to be a mortgage coach black belt or up and be doing some volume. And there's other technology platforms that are delivering value beyond the transaction. That's what Friday Mastermind's for. Like, let's learn about a new tech. Let's learn about a new platform. Let's have a loan officer talk loan officer. Let's have an innovator talk innovator. So I want to do more calls exactly like this one, where we're bringing in platforms. And I've done HomeBot, but I need to redo a HomeBot. So stay tuned for that. If you do want me to, bring on another platform, talk to someone else, put it down below. Also, that's Todd and I's mission with the Modern Mortgage Summit. We want to help you guys modernize. So Dan, you called for this call, and I want to make sure, we got 10 minutes left, that we covered everything that you had a vision that we should cover. Mr. Keller.
Yeah, I think if you're a loan officer, you're meeting with real estate agents every day. If you are a branch manager, you're managing loan officers. And so we recently signed up. So all of my loan officers get this. So when you come to work in our branch, they don't have to go set up their own account with House Happy and Scott. It's just, I see that so much value in it. that I've subscribed to that. From a real estate agent standpoint, I'm going to share a success story here in a minute. But from meeting with real estate agents, when you ask them questions, go back and watch the Jeremy Forcier interview. I don't use all of the questions, but I use the majority of them. And when you're sitting down with a new and meeting a new real estate agent, and you're finding out more about their business, I love just saying, so tell me a little about your client management system. Do you do annual real estate reviews? Do you do annual client appreciation events? Tell me more about that and tell me how that looks. Do you call them monthly? Do you follow the ABC, 1 week, one alphabet letter, and call your past clients often? How much is involved in that? And then when I learn more about that, I'm taking notes, and most of the time, House Happy fits right into that, because most real estate agents think they are your realtor for life. That cliched, it's on their business cards, right? And so we can use that. We can use House Happy to play right into that realtor for life conversation. So I kind of start with that. One of the success stories that I had recently was a local builder. And same thing, I sat down with them, with a real estate agent, and kind of their value proposition is that we live in the communities that we build. We're a part of the community. Our name is important to us. And I'm just sitting here just waiting to have the opportunity to talk, because he mentioned something about 5 years from now, we want people talking about the community that we built. And I said, well, hey, I've got something that, in addition to making sure that we have the same appraisers in your community, making sure that we close on time and get you paid when you think you're going to get paid, when the contract says you're going to get paid, we have a product, a service. It's a concierge service. And I went through kind of my pitch on it. The builder's mind was blown. Because at the end of the day, I said, listen, if every single one of your homeowners in your communities take better care of your properties, it's going to make you look better in the community. Do you agree? And the guy was floored. That's how I stood out from 2 other lenders that they spoke to. And we're now the preferred lender and the preferred real estate agent in this new build community. So not only will it help with builders, it'll help with meeting real estate agents, and then the co-branding aspect of it, like Scott just showed. How great is it when your clients open an email and there's value there, and it's your face and the real estate agent's face right there. And so it really combines you and puts you together as that home ownership team for life. And so Scott, thank Dave. A month ago when I texted you, it was something that I'm super stoked on. I see the value in this company. I've known Scott for a few years. Scott's a great guy. He picks up his phone, he calls you back. And so it's awesome to have you on board with the Mortgage Coach community, Scott.
Thanks, appreciate it. Hey, Dan,
Scott,
real quick, so you know this, you can have your accounts branded with that builder as well. So
that's incredible.
So from a legacy perspective, for the builder value, that the first buyer knew who built it. The second buyer probably won't. So they can brand either accounts through you. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, you two follow up on that offline. Hey, Scott, I do want to net out pricing. Do you do individual users? If you could, anybody that's on this is like, oh, this is cool. Either you had me at hello, I want to sign up, or they're like, hey, I need to talk a little bit more. What direction do you give them?
Yeah, so I would say, I'm going to post something in there. We have an enrollment page for partners, and you can click through on that. They're basically the Reader's Digest version is it's a $100, $200, or $400 a month depending on your volume. We also have some enterprise deals with some companies which may apply to you, depending on who you're working with. And to answer the other question is there's never a cost to the homeowner other than for the services that they order. And there's never a markup from us for that service. It's all what they would pay normally or cheaper. We have these great discounts we negotiate periodically. But hopefully that answered the question. I'm going to post it in the chat right now.
So netting it out, guys, $100 to $400. And this does sound like one of those platforms that helps you close an extra loan a month. So it's not a cost center, it's a profit center, unless you make less than $400 to close a loan. But if you make more than $400 a loan, that's your commission. It sounds like this is a winner. This is a no-brainer. If you want to be that modern originator at the highest and best level, delivering value beyond the transaction. So that is killer. You said something else to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll make sure that if you're paying $400, you're probably doing 20 to 30 loans a month. And so that math is, the cost per unit's really cheap, and it stays with the home really for the entire time they're in it. So what you're prepaying for is years of marketing with that one-time payment for that particular home. And it is transferable. It can go to the next borrower, and your branding stays in place. So you can build a relationship with the next person.
That is killer. So really, guys, it's if you're doing that many loans, you're probably going to get an extra 4 loans. So really, it's $100 a loan, and I'm just doing fuzzy math on that. Tamara just said, is there a cost to the partner to add?
You mean from like a real estate agent? I would assume so. Yeah. So for RESPA reasons, they have to subscribe as well. If they subscribe on one-off deals, they're $36 per transaction. If they want to add it as part of their business strategy, they can sign up for that $100 a month package as well, and they get all the benefits to their customers. And if they do that, you will be automatically branded on the accounts that they create.
And by the way, and that's only if you're co-branding with a realtor. Like you could just to be clear, guys, you don't need to bring the realtor into it. You can just be like, hey, this is what I do, and I'll give it back to you. But by the way, I like that idea and the way I would play it. I do that co-branding play. Like I could do this and handle it, or we could do it together. And not only do you have it with my deals, you have it with every deal.
Well, and there's another really solid strategy is that, when you provide this service to your real estate and your referral partners, then you're staying top of mind with them for their home too. So it's probably pretty good, useful tool for you. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but anybody who sends me a message that says mortgage coach in the email, you'll get a month free on whatever package you enroll at.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you, brother.
Of course.
So a couple things, guys, before we wrap this up, I want to remind everybody, if you're watching this and you're not in our Mortgage Coach Facebook group, get in here. I put this at the top. I usually put it at the top for a day, but it's going to be in our YouTube channel before the end of the day. I want to remind everybody, I opened it up with this Agent Advantage playlist, super valuable resource to educate you and agents on how Mortgage Coach helps sell more homes. And remember, I am looking for more Mortgage Coach rock stars. Deborah Bird, who is the social media manager for the Modern Mortgage and Modern Real Estate Summit, and Todd Bookspan, I think she works for Win by Noon, and a whole bunch of mortgage coaches. She's a badass social media strategist and consultant. She'll help you. Like she was live at the event. It was actually her idea to say, Dave, I'll help loan officers create these videos. Now you will have to pay her. She's a for-profit business, but she's a consultant, and she'd take a discovery call with you. Just email her at support@plugandplaysm.com. I don't know that we have time to get into this question, but Dan, I want you to be thinking about this. And if we don't, I'm gonna give you a minute at the end to answer it. But I think it's a good question, and we want to put something in here. Before we close on that question, I want to let people know this Tuesday, I'm going to have Robert Stover, who's been a marketing guru for me for almost 2 decades. No, over 2 decades. He was pre-mortgage coach consultant. So going on 25 years. And he shared something with me that was mind-blowing yesterday. And we're going to be doing a call this Tuesday called 3 Ways to Create Headlines in 3 Seconds. Like it's going to blow your mind. Like one of the hardest things about killing on social media is having good headlines. It's writing good posts. And he's going to show a new technology that helps you do it better. Dan, I did invite you to it just because I know you've consulted with Stover. You've had Stover come out and speak to a room full of realtors before. If you could make it this Tuesday at 9, it's going to be the Stover Show, showing how to write better headlines faster. Do you know if you can make it, bro?
Yeah, I will do my best to make that. Robert's just full of knowledge. So yes.
Todd, you know what? I'm not even going to try to answer that, kind of half-ass answer that question. But Dan, do you mind writing a post to that loan officer? Because I think it's something that a lot of people would love some help with.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Todd, take us home. Wrap it up. Anything we forgot to cover, and any action steps from the coach of Win by Noon?
Well, I mean, I think it goes without saying, check out House Happy. You've got Dan, one of the top loan officers in the country and super, obviously one of the super leaders of our community, who created this call today in order for you all to hear what one of his success variables is. And he's doing it at the bottom of his heart. So I would encourage you to check that out. It's been great for my team as well. So we're definitely a big fan. And I just really want to say, thanks, Scott. Thanks, Dan, for your time. And then also just one more thank you to all of those of you who supported the Modern Real Estate Summit. It's a lot of fun when Dave and I get to live out our passions and add value to the community. So thank you for all those who added videos, like Dan and the rest of the Mortgage Coach crew. Thank you guys. And thanks for everyone who bought a ticket, whether it's one ticket or you bought 100 tickets. We're super grateful.
Yeah, and remember, it's not too late to buy tickets. And we will, we always do, there'll be the live event plus 30 days, and then there'll be a 1-year pass that we'll make available. And we give you a lot of reasons to be in that annual pass crew. So the fortune is in the follow-ups. The event was amazing, but if you do the follow-up right, you'll get even more value. And we do plan in the weeks to come, inserting into our Tuesday and Friday live calls, taking some content from that one of the summits, and then, okay, what can you do with that today? And how can you use Mortgage Coach better? How can you win by noon better? How, technologies that we either integrate with or friends like House Happy, when we think there's here's the way you'd be modern so you can win out there. So guys, this call is a wrap. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you for your time. Give us a like, share this with your friends. This call is a wrap.